On September 2nd, 1999, in Jericho, New York, a family was moving out of their home, and the husband noticed the sanitary workers left behind a large metal drum with a note stating they could not remove it because of its weight. Curious of what was inside of the drum causing it to weigh so much, he pried it open and was met with a foul odor. Inside, he noticed a hand poking out and a woman's shoe. It was the dead body of a young woman, and by the state of her mummified body, she had been there for quite a while. Police were called, and an examination of the remains revealed she had died from blunt force trauma to the head. Further examination revealed the woman was pregnant at the time of her death, with the fetus still inside her. She had her personal belongings inside of the drum, including her comb, wallet, lipstick, and a pocketbook, amongst other items. Police were unable to identify the victim at the moment because all of her items were extremely deteriorated. They would need time to work on the pocketbook and try and get information without further damaging it. Police would now rely on information regarding the drum and when it was manufactured, and that was in the 1960s when the home was owned by Howard Elkins, who, as of 1999, was a 70-year-old retired businessman who was living in Florida. Howard was a part owner of a Melrose plastic company in Manhattan, New York. Inside of the drum, dumped on top of the woman, were small plastic pellets and a plastic leaf. It was revealed that during the late 60s, Howard had been having an affair with a Hispanic woman who was working for him in the plastic company. Detectives decided to go speak with Howard to see if he would give police any information regarding the plastic pellets discovered in the drum, and he denied any of his materials being involved, and when asked if he had an affair with a woman at his workplace, he admitted he did, but claimed he couldn't remember her name, what she looked like, or what her ethnicity was. When detectives asked for his DNA to find out if he was the father of the unborn fetus found in the woman's stomach, he would refuse, and after receiving a call from his wife, he asked police to leave his home. Not before the detective told Howard he was going to get a court order to get his DNA and prove he was in fact the father of the unborn child, and that he was going to arrest him for the murder of the unidentified woman and send him to jail for the rest of his life. Howard nodded his head and opened the door to let the detectives out. After they left his home, Howard headed to a gun shop and purchased a shotgun and bullets. He sat inside of his car in his garage before pulling the shotgun out and taking his own life. DNA from Howard revealed he was, in fact, the father of the unborn child. After further examination of the pocketbook inside of the drum, police were able to finally identify a few names and numbers. One being the residence of Howard, where he stayed with his wife and children, and another with a woman named Kathy Andrade. Amazingly, Kathy still lived in the same apartment with the same phone number. Police tracked her down and were finally able to identify the remains of the young woman. Kathy identified her as a student in her English class named Reina Angelica Marroquin, who moved to America from El Salvador in 1966. She claimed Reina was one of the most pleasant and lovely people she knew before she disappeared 30 years ago. She stated Reina got a job at Melrose making plastic artificial flowers and had a dream to become an American citizen. Shortly before Reina disappeared, she told Kathy that she was pregnant but did not disclose who the child's father was. When Kathy asked if he was going to marry her, she said eventually he would marry her. She would later tell Kathy that the man was already married with 3 kids, and she feared he would not leave his family and marry her. This angered Reina, who would call Howard's wife and tell her she was pregnant with his child. Howard would call back and tell Reina he was going to kill her. Kathy stated Reina was crushed and terrified, saying, "He's going to kill me. I made a big mistake." Kathy would visit Reina's apartment later on and discover she was gone. She informed police, but with little information regarding the identity of the alleged father, there was little police could do, and Kathy never saw Reina again. Police believe Howard lured Reina to the plastic factory and attacked her from behind, killing her. He would then place her in one of the many drums in the factory and cover her with the plastic pellets there and seal it shut. Police believe he intended to dump her body in the river, but underestimated the weight of the drum and decided to hide it in the crawl space of his house, where it stayed for over 30 years with different owners. Police were able to locate Reina's family in San Martin, San Salvador, and informed her elderly mother of her daughter's death. She claimed she had visions of her daughter in a barrel for over 30 years that she had been missing. Reina left El Salvador initially because she discovered her husband had gotten another woman pregnant. She would head to New York, where she would find herself in the same situation, only this time, she was the pregnant mistress. One final note was discovered in the drum beside Raina and her unborn child, and it read, "Don't be mad, I told the truth."